the warning. Watch them flashing like paparazzi. 2 words. Get money. Tonight's the night. Guess who's back on my block? Rather unique. Bucktown. This on that quiet storm. T-O-N-Y. Top of New York with a pitchfork. Look at you go. Okay, you better. Look. Go. Go. Look at you go. Okay, you better. Look.
Yeah. One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash coming in. Come get your man, Slim Booker bugging me. Just need a bag, quit all that jaw jackery. Don't even be that, I don't want none of it. He's mad about it, had enough of it. Whoa, watch what you saying, how that poppin' is shaking. Got is a lazy, my posse deep and I raiding. We act a fool for the paper, had a dream and I made it. El Camino on Dayton's, bitches guess over bait. Put the bread on me, bet on my bacon. Big and flat in the bacon, I might just roll out today. I might just roll out to Vegas, head back to my old ways. Cop a roof for all day. Look at me, baby. Look at me, baby. Don't I look like a million? I'm about to clean out the safe. Don't I look like somebody that just be bodying everything? All that talking is great, but I don't be talking. I air it out. All the problems have gotten easy to bury. I'd rather kiss on my. I've been broke away longer than I've been rich, so until it levels out, I'ma take mama to the Marriott and took me so long to get it, gonna spread it out. Let them know all about me when I'm dead and gone. One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. One in the hand, one in the hand, one in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. I'ma need all the fries you can give me, all the hot sauce, all the pie you can give me. Better be all or nothing, don't have me in the middle. You better be all you can, yeah. Super fly for the dumbos, plenty slides like a shuffle. Hit the cadence for my young Isaac Hayes, Billy Ocean, but the old with the cane stick. Let my slippers at the function. It's hard to run the Gucci slides. That bet you say you didn't never. I'ma step no. Jackie Chan, no travel. Can't clean it with the beat. Dripping from the. No, Lord, not me. I can never be the one you want to stuff for. Money, that machine. Ferragamo stove. R.I.P. the times that I was broke. After life in 9/11, folks. Matte black, liquor clean. Dead places in an envelope. Cooking up canard. Waiting for the antidote. Running out of time. Pictures thinner than a pantyhose.
You're empty your pocket. I don't do that. In my prison, you do what I tell you. Get over here. Who's gonna get this?
One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. One in the hand, one in the hand, one in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling.
Money back. Money back. Money back. Look at the money back. Money back. God, I do the Maybach on Monday, Ferrari Friday. This is sweet Saturday. That's just what I say. I say red, it's he said it's a them pretty. You look like Beyonce, looking like money back, money back, money back.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. throwing on first down. Knight drops it to Jones in the flat. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll bring up second down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They go play action here on first down. He's going to air one out. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A big play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Colts are going to take a first-quarter lead. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
And, Brandon, as we continue to see, so much of the influence on this game is now coming from those hybrid-type players. In this case, strong safety, not worried about covering the pass. What a play on the run.
Tackled for a loss.
Yeah, forget the pregame introductions. Introduced himself with authority on that play.
And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd. They'll set up to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38, and the return here will go to the 31-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole. Interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Throwing to start the drive. Knight. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Gone! Detroit!
Looking to throw on second down. Knight. And incomplete. He tried to leave it underneath. Nearly got picked. They may be lucky to have that one back. 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Operating from the gun, Knight. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this score will stay right where it is. So a bit of a weird kick there. That wasn't an overly long attempt, but that never had a chance.
You almost wonder if he might have maybe got that one on the laces because it kind of knuckled on him a bit. And this one winds up in empty possession.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Leopard! Leopard!
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
And that was a nice, strong run by the guy they call the field general.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
And that one incomplete. Had some position, but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And they were in field goal range the last time out, but couldn't connect.
And it's early in the game, so I don't think that the confidence just goes entirely out of, running your kicker back out there. But let's face it, some coaches have a little bit less patience for that than others. Let's see if they call the game differently now in terms of what they do on drives and not try and settle for field goals.
Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Back to throw. Knight. He's going to let this one. He's got a man. Complete. A huge play that time for the Colts. 42 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Colts are able to grow their lead. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Hey, you're so right, because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you've got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, wherever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
And now out comes Houston. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Now you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit, and find our way back into this game.
Now it's Breida. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. That's an experienced DB picking off a rookie, and you know sometimes those experienced DBs, they love going against the young pups, don't they?
And I go back to the offseason, had a quick conversation with him about, hey, when you play younger quarterbacks, what's it like for you? And he says it's like being a boxer. I give him a lot of different angles, a lot of different looks, and a lot of times I just bait the young guy.
And there he baited him right into the interception. On first down, Knight is going to float this over the middle, deep. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 100 yards here in the first half. Could have had a lot more if he would have been able to haul that one in.
Yeah, in fact, our statistician Marvin was already handing me a piece of paper with that yardage totaled on it. He thought that catch was going to happen just as you and I did as well.
Back to the air on second down. Knight. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Looking to throw. Knight. He will find Davis on the left side, complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A really good pickup of 28 yards. This quarterback now 6 of 10 in this first half. He's got his guys a first down here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid game. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Play action. Knight. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Jordan. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A gain of 39 that time. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Back to throw. Knight. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete. Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a third down here.
Watch it now, Barney. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Hot!
From the gun, Knight. Forced out to his left, diving for the end zone, and the ball's knocked out, and the Texans scoop it.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So, should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
And bulldozing his way through. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And all the way down to the 35. A huge play there for Houston. 45 yards. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35.
Over! Gun!
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
It's been such an impressive first half to get that lead. He'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
Here we go. Leopard!
On play action, they'll throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. First half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Just a 25-yard punt. Not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And the Colts are going to take over, albeit deep in their own territory. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And so close to hitting pay dirt last time, fumbling down near the goal line. Now, how does that affect their psyche this time around?
It's a tester. That's for sure, because to be that close and come away with no points is really disappointing, not just for the guys on offense, but the defensive players, too, who thought, hey, we're going to put some points up and have a little momentum going. They've got to find a way to just get it out of their minds, let it go,
short-term memory,
and move on to the next series.
Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface.
Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Green 39.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Knight. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And he is not quite going to make it all the way in. They'll mark him down right about the 1-yard line. And that pick just sets him up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this be who you are defense. D linemen, you play the run. Linebackers, be aware of anything. And secondary, you play the pass. That way, you're all set, ready for whatever they put out there.
They'll go with a keeper. And no signal, but I don't think he got the surge behind center. No, he's going to be kept out of the end zone. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down. Another shot from the one on 2nd and goal. They'll try and sneak it here. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Only a yard on the sneak, not what he was hoping for, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, partner, they went a little conservative, didn't they? And they ended up marking it short. And now I wonder, will they even do it again on 3rd down?
This Colts D up to the challenge so far, but they need another stop here on 3rd and goal.
Over!
And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. It's their quarterback. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Texans have cut it to within a score. And maybe that was just a case of completely overlooking the guy holding the football.
It certainly felt like it, didn't it? Because on my checklist, okay, as a defender,
QB's last.
Running back, fullback, heck, jet sweeps nowadays. Before you even get to thinking about the quarterback might actually keep it.
So the lead trimmed down to 8 as here comes the kickoff, and it's away. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Colts offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Jordan. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. This quarterback now 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%. And it's 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Operating from the gun. Knight. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Gun. Hurry up, here we go. 319. 319. Gun.
To throw on 2nd down. Knight. The pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Solomon Thomas in there to get him, and this pass rush strong now. That sacks on back-to-back plays. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Blue 90. Gun.
From the gun, Knight. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Well, we quit counting yardage on that one, didn't we? That was truly 3rd and a mile, wasn't it?
It was. I thought they might just go underneath, but they didn't. They wanted to get the 1st down there.
Yeah, they tried to pick up the huge chunk unsuccessfully. I'm with you. I would have tried to take some yardage just to gain some field position.
But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Maybe he telegraphed it. Rookie quarterback. He stepped in and picked it.
You think he had a great week of preparation, looking forward to this opportunity? And the second part of that is, when you're a young quarterback, you are going to stare down targets, but oftentimes your playbook hasn't expanded to give you full field reads as well. Makes it a little bit tougher for him.
Throw left side complete. It's Jordan. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. So a minute 56 to play in this first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout.
Gone!
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. A dump underneath to Jones. 7 yards on the play, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 10.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They'll drop to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And Hopkins' kick is good. And that will extend their lead here to 17-6. So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never got a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Looking left sideline, it's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20. And a loose football. And the Colts pick it up. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return. And say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And here comes the Texans now. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you've got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
35 seconds, all that remains in the first half as they come up on first down. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little rough.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
They'll throw now on the final play. So we come to halftime here with the visiting Colts taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Lucky 56.
They'll toss it to Breida. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Right back to him on 1st down. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
They're going to look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 45. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Throwing to start the drive. Knight. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Knight. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Colts on 3rd down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This is 3rd down and 12.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Operating from the gun. Knight. Buying time to his left. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And now out comes Houston. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. Now the offensive penalty has us back where we started as they come up on a 1st and 10. to throw here on first down. And he'll be brought down by the Colts.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's able to get this one up to the 8-yard line this time. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. That's taken it around the 40. $12 yards on the return that time. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And the Colts getting ready to go. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And now look at him go. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Colts add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Oliver. Past the 20. 10. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A big play there. 79 yards. And the Texans cut into that lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This will be taken in at the 1. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Back to throw here. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the game there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Over the middle, complete. That's Jordan. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have.
Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
Look to throw here. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the... Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A gain of 32 that time. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Throw left side complete. It's Oliver. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a third down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39, green 39. Leopard.
On third down, that's Fernandez. And the penetration too strong. He won't make it back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up a fourth down. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. They'll look to throw now on first down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Back now in Houston. It's Texans football, but they trail here as we get started in the fourth quarter. And now they're looking for 19 yards here on third down following 2 negative plays.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll set up a throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Oliver. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Leopard.
They'll look to throw. And now here is another interception. Picked off inside the 10. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Now back to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
He's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. He'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball in this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And this offense set up with a very short field. 1st and 10 inside the 20. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
He'll drop to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Oliver. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. They'll try to run it in, going option right. And he is going to lose yardage here. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage with a flag down here to boot. So they may back up further. You need your wide receivers as blockers. Sometimes they get a hold.
The big runs are often a result of what they do on the perimeter. In this case, got caught holding, and this one will come back.
Back to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off inside the 10. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Here we go now. Boo, Landon. Boo.
On 1st and 10. Knight. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
Now this is where field awareness comes into play. He's getting perilously close to his own goal line, and after that sack, backed up to his own 2.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And, oh, that is going to be a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. Oh. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come up to 6.
A lot of points. And now out comes Houston. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
Line of scrimmage moves from one 37-yard line to the other as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And an alley to run. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan 1st down.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the 1st down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the fourth. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. As his guys are in for 6. And now the Texans are within a 2-point conversion of tying up this game.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
And now here's another interception. Picked off inside the 5. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So the lead shaved to 2 now as the kickoff is away. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. Remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough 1st downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
Throwing on 1st down. Knight. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
Well, that takeaway, partner, right there, that's a combination of coaching, execution, and absolute belief. Because a lot of guys will look at the scoreboard and go, this thing's pretty well done. But they still thought to themselves, if we can make a play, we give our teammates a chance to win it. And that's exactly what they did.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now a handoff looking right. And he's heating up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
Watch you now, Barney! Barney!
Now they'll run it on the toss. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. Looking to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And he'll go down inside the 15 at his own 13-yard line. The number 7 usually lucky here. Not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he had won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about one game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer the last to do it in 2001 to throw 7 picks. They find some open field here. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to. They didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. It'll be a gain of 2, and speaking of 2s, it'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
Set. Green 39. Green 39.
Now this time he'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. It's caught at the 10. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. Now Jones. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. He's going to get it running right. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Oh, Brandon, I'm going to tell you, this is football time to me. They're inside the 10-yard line. That's like drawing the line in the sand. Who's going to make the stand here? Defensive guys, they know if he gets in the end zone, this ball game is over. The guys with the football right now, they're thinking, let's just pound it in there.
Got to hold him to 3 to keep this a 1-score game. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. And Hopkins' kick is good. And that will push the lead up to 5. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And now out comes Houston. They're down here in a 1-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Yeah, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90!
They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Houston. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the 4th quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. They'll set up to throw. And this is caught. And it's a 3-point game. So they make the decision. They want a 3-point lead versus a 2-point lead, and they got it.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, it seems like the exact right thing to do. put a little pressure on your defense, but the biggest thing now is you're making the other team chase you.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
Yeah, they practice this all the time,
they practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Tried to go for the big one there on second down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
He's back to throw. And that is incomplete.
So another big shot dodged there defensively. Now just one more incompletion away from salting away this victory. And I know this feeling. They're almost giddy, but they have to stay focused and locked in. They can make one big mistake and throw it all away.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as the clock will stop with 33 seconds remaining. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Gone, 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 gone. Gone, 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 gone. Over.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Boy, what a turnaround. They exited the lockers with a nice lead, and now all of this. What's happened?
So when you start to write your novel, you'll start out with, it was a tale of 2 halves, won't you?
Hey, but I'm a bad writer.
I don't know exactly what happened, because sometimes teams can go in with a lead and get too comfortable, too relaxed, and a couple of things go wrong, and it's hard to get back that good feeling.
Watch him now, Barney, Barney.
That one looks like he'll throw here. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. You got the slim lead late and the football, so why are you throwing it there?
Remember during the year when we asked one of the head coaches, you know, if you're in this spot, why would you throw the ball? And he talked about trust in his quarterback and trust in his offense.
But still.
And then at the end he kind of went, yeah, not really a good reason.
Right.
Watch him now, Barney, Barney. Gone, 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 gone.
Back to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And all the way down to the 35. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the ball game. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35.
All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56. Over, 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 over.
first down. Knight. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. And with just inside of 10 seconds to go, they'll burn their final timeout. 9 seconds left. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. From the gun, Knight. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 5 yards on the pickup, and they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. Here's Dustin Hopkins now to try the field goal. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick is no good. Oh, by the slimmest of margins, he missed it wide to the left. So 3 points, the deciding margin, and the kick no good at the end that could have sent us to overtime. And while it was a decently long kick, we've almost gotten to the point with these kickers these days, anything inside 60, we just expect them to make it, but that was a tough pressure kick.
I love how you brought that up, though. That is so true, because the kickers have almost done themselves a disservice by being so good. Exactly right. And when they do miss it, I'm not sure we give enough gravity to the idea of, that's a really long kick in a difficult situation, folks. Tough attempt, and he missed.
So for Houston, they move back over 500 at 3-2 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the Colts, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And they will try to turn it around next week as they head down to Carson for a matchup with the LA Chargers.
I sound him.